can't tell you how excited I am to be here. I mean, I love this congregation, I love the music, I love everything about it. But I'm excited to be here because of the gospel passage that we just heard. I went back and forth by email with Ed Pellatella this week, and I believe that if we watch what the Samaritan did, the 10th man in that group that had a disease, it will shed light on a lot of things, and a lot of things that you do. But we'll start with Jesus was in a region between. Am I remembering that right? A region between. And you folks live and play and work in a region between. You're part of Erie Episcopal. Your two congregations, the Cathedral, St. Mark's. You share a staff. These two congregations, though, do ministry together. Even as they're in separate locations, a downtown church and a not downtown church. This is how you do a lot of your ministry, and you can't quite place where it is on a spectrum between, say, yoked parishes and standalone cathedrals. But it doesn't matter. What matters is in this place, mission happens. And that's exactly where Jesus is. He's in this place. If you listen to the people that know more than I do, the gospel scholars, they're saying it doesn't make sense wherever Jesus is. He can't be in a region between Galilee and Samaria, because Galilee's here, Samaria's here, and he's headed to Jerusalem. It's right on top of each other. But in that place, he ran into, shall we call it, a community of 10 men with disease. And they saw Jesus, and probably like they've done 100 times before with 100 other people, Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. They would just say the have mercy on us part, but this time, something different happened. Jesus saw them, and he said, go show yourselves to the priests. That's what Jewish law provided for. The priest would declare them clean, then they could enter into the wider society once again. They could participate in worship, they could participate in family life. All of this stuff was restored them to their sense of personhood. So they were all 10 of them were doing what Jesus asked them to do. But the Samaritan, this foreigner, as soon as he saw that his skin was clean, he started praising God, thanking God, running the whole time back to Jesus, throwing himself at his feet. Now, some people like to make a big deal out of Jesus' comment, where are the other 9, as it's some sort of slight. Jesus is not slighted. perhaps he's sad. He wants to give all of them more. He gave the foreigner, the Samaritan, more. He not only healed his disease, he made him whole. And that involves more than the outside part. That involves our heart, our soul, our way of being in the world. And it brought him into the family of God. That's quite a healing. And it's the something more that we always strive for. You know, we can put a Band-Aid on a cut. We can get a drink of water if we're thirsty. But that's assuming that we have our community, we know who we are, we're settled in it, and we're in relationship with God. That is not true of everyone. And you know that. And you might hear echoes of your work in it, echoes of times when you have seen the unseen, echoes of times when you have brought community to the people that had none, echoes of time when each individual was given a sense of place, a sense of belonging. And how wonderful is that? I'm speaking, of course, when you partner with your community for helping anyone, but in particular, I'm thinking of the refugees and the migrants. What they need most is that community, that way of being settled. This Samaritan, unlike the other 9, once the priest declared him clean, he still didn't have a community because he wasn't Jewish. And in fact, he would lose his community because he had found a little one based on disease, but nonetheless, he had these 10 people, 9 other people that he could be with. And when the other 9 were healed, he didn't even have them because when he was clear, he was the foreigner. He was the suspicious one. He was not welcome. He would most essentially be driven out. God gave him more. God gave him the family of God. God gave him a place to belong, a place to be who he is. Not divine by disease, but by who he is. That's what we do when we do ministry. And that's what can happen when we throw our hands up in the air in praise and thanksgiving and gratitude for all that God has done. It opens up possibilities. We can sit back and say, well, there's some complications here. Complications around resources, around finances, around talent. And then that shuts that conversation right down. What can you do? Nothing. But when you're approaching God in gratitude, we enter into God's world. And in God's world, the possibilities are endless. In front of Jesus, the possibilities for that Samaritan were endless. In front of all of us, those that we seek to love and to serve, the possibilities are endless. Gratitude opens up those possibilities. So I know that you have already responded to God's call to love neighbor as yourself. I want to encourage you to think about what it means to live a life of gratitude and to see what possibilities open up. Amen.